Today we're talking about unlocking financial freedom. What's the timeline of a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? So are you buried in debt? Is it weighing heavily on your mind every day? Do you feel like there's no escape from this never-ending cycle of bills and debt collectors? Well, I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. In the video today, I'm going to show you the timeline for how a Chapter 7 bankruptcy works and how it can help you actually unlock your financial freedom. Hi, my name is attorney Theron Morrison, and when it comes to dealing with overwhelming debt, bankruptcy may be an option. But navigating the system, it can be confusing and it can be intimidating. That's why I've made this video today to help explain to you exactly what happens when filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Because I want you to be able to make an informed decision on whether or not it's right for you. So, are you constantly waking up in the middle of the night worrying about how to pay off your mounting debts? Getting calls all day from debt collectors? Well, in this video, you will learn some of the key tips I think that can help significantly impact your journey through Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Now, these tips, they're crafted based on years of experience and understanding the bankruptcy system. And I think they can potentially lead you toward a life free from the shackles of overwhelming debt and the stresses that it entails. So stay tuned to the end of this video to gain some valuable insights that I think can help change your financial future. So, Chapter 7 bankruptcy. What is a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Well, it's basically a bankruptcy that will wipe out a majority of your debts. Not all. Usually it's when people's debts and the ability to pay those debts can no longer be met and your financial situation doesn't allow it. Now, there's different steps when it comes to filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The first step, I think, is meeting with an attorney to kind of go over what the process entails. Bankruptcy may or may not even be right for you, but you won't know until you gain the financial education from a bankruptcy attorney, from someone who focuses and deals specifically with bankruptcy. Oftentimes we meet with clients and we're able to guide them on different steps. So it's a long way of telling you, I think that the first step is to meet with a bankruptcy attorney. The next step for you once you meet with a bankruptcy attorney and you decide that that is the right option for you is going to be completing some paperwork. Now, your attorney can't do everything for you. You're going to have to gather some documents. Your attorney can help walk you through what those are. The attorney is going to need to gather some information. Once you're able to gather that information and provide it to your attorney, well, then the next step is filing your bankruptcy. When filing the bankruptcy, you submit the paperwork to the court, and at that particular point, the court is going to, well, first make a quick decision whether or not you're eligible, and they will then assign you to a trustee. Right? A trustee is an attorney who represents your creditors. Now, this trustee is going to meet with you and your attorney. And at that point, the trustee is going to ask you questions about your statements and schedules, that we call them, your financial situation. The trustee may want additional information, and the trustee is going to determine whether or not there are assets to pursue or whether or not the trustee just wants to let your case go. That hearing is generally scheduled for about an hour long. Now, after that, your then creditors have 60 days to determine whether or not they want to fight you on any of the debts and whether or not they want to determine if their debt is what we call non-dischargeable. If they don't, after 60 days, you generally will automatically receive your discharge, assuming you've taken a class that needs to be taken. After you get your discharge, your case is usually closed unless the trustee has assets that he is looking at. At that point, the trustee could keep your case open for a little bit longer, but you've still received your discharge at this point, which means you are free to start trying to reestablish your financial future at that particular point. So, but before we even get to this process 13, and I apologize because I'm just assuming at this point we've qualified for a Chapter 7, and that's the route that we're gonna want to go. Now, once your bankruptcy is discharged, this is kind of key and very important. Just because you've done your bankruptcy correctly does not mean that all the creditors are going to report accurately on your credit. So you want a qualified bankruptcy attorney who understands also what can and cannot be reported on your credit report. Because by doing that, you may be able to actually take these creditors back to court and sanction them financially for not abiding by the rules. This is very, very important because the whole point of bankruptcy is reestablishing and trying to give yourself a fresh start and reestablishing that credit. And if the creditors aren't reporting accurately, that needs to be taken care of. So, some of the common tips now that I have for maybe improving your credit score. Well, let's talk about that, even though that's after the bankruptcy process. One, you'll want to pull your credit reports from the credit bureaus no sooner than 60 days after your discharge, just because we found that a lot of violations happen after discharge. Then, once that process has been resolved and been through, there are certain debts that you're going to want to take on that will help you reestablish credit and build that credit. And I've got more information on this in some additional blog posts and some additional videos, so I would refer you to those. That's probably the best thing. But you do actually have to take affirmative steps to reestablish credit. Just sitting there and doing nothing is not enough. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you'll look at my other videos on how to reestablish credit and how to build your credit. But I appreciate your time and thank you.